I refused to let my husband's daughter touch my wedding dress. Then she cut it into pieces while I slept. Look, I don't even care anymore if people judge me for this. I just need to let it out. I, 34F, recently got married to my husband, 39M, and honestly, I thought things would calm down after the wedding, but I can't get this one thing out of my head, and every time I think about it, I just get angry all over again. He has a daughter, Ava. She's 20. I was never trying to be her mom or anything like that. I met her dad years after his divorce. I stayed in my lane. I was always respectful. But with Ava, it's like nothing I did was ever right. She never really gave me a chance. Polite on the surface, but cold underneath. You know that feeling when someone smiles at you but you can tell they kinda hate you? That was Ava. Anyway, let's get to it. A few weeks before our wedding, I finally picked up my dress. I paid for it myself. No help from anyone. It wasn't a huge designer thing. I'm not flashy, but it was mine. I loved it. When I tried it on, I felt like I could actually breathe, like I was finally doing something for me, not trying to please everyone else. I brought it home and hung it up in the guest closet. Zipped, wrapped, untouched. Safe. Then one evening, Ava came into the room while I was folding laundry and goes, "Is that the dress?" I said, "Yeah." She asked if she could try it on, like, just casually. "Just for fun," she said. I paused. I didn't want to be mean, but I said, "Hey, I'd rather not. It's really delicate, and I just want it to stay perfect for the day." Her face completely changed. She didn't say anything at first, then mumbled, "Wow, okay, I guess I'm not really part of this family anyway." I stood there, frozen, like what? What the hell does that even mean? Later I told Jason and my husband, and of course he brushed it off. "She's sensitive," he said. "You could have just let her look at it." Look at it? I didn't say she couldn't look. I said don't wear it. There's a difference. I'm not crazy, right? I didn't yell. I wasn't rude. I set a boundary. One tiny boundary over a dress I paid for, and somehow that made me the villain? I let it go. I zipped the dress up again and put it further back in the closet. I should have trusted my gut, because what she did next, I'm still not over it. After that night, I tried to shake it off. I told myself I was overthinking. I wanted peace. The wedding was coming up in less than 2 weeks. I didn't have the energy to fight, but something felt off. Ava started acting weird, not loud or dramatic, just weird, too quiet, passive-aggressive. She barely looked me in the eye. She'd walk into the room and instantly leave if I was there. At dinner, she'd only talk to Jason, like I didn't exist. One night, I heard her in the kitchen talking on the phone. I wasn't trying to listen in, but the walls are thin. She said she thinks she can just walk in and replace everything. She's not even special, and that dress, she acts like it's made of gold or something. I stood there, in the hallway, frozen. That's when I started to get paranoid. I know how that sounds, but I started double-checking the dress every night. I'd unzip the bag just slightly and check if it was still fine. No marks, no wrinkles, still safe. Until one night, I noticed the zipper on the bag was open, like 2 inches down, not how I left it. I opened the bag. At first glance, it looked okay, but then I noticed the bottom hem. There was a smudge, tiny, barely visible, but it was there. My heart dropped. I didn't even tell Jason. I already knew what he'd say. "You're being dramatic. She wouldn't do that. You probably touched it last and forgot." So I just moved the dress to our bedroom closet and hid it, pushed it behind all my coats. I even told Ava we had taken it back to the bridal shop for last-minute alterations. She didn't say a word. She just smiled. That should have scared me. That should have been the moment I knew something was coming, but I didn't want to believe she'd actually do something crazy. I was wrong. So wrong. The night before the wedding, Jason stayed at his brother's house. Kind of a tradition thing. I stayed home alone. Quiet house, no drama. Ava said she was sleeping over at a friend's place. I finally felt like I could breathe. Before bed, I checked the dress again. Still hidden in the back of the closet. Still okay. I remember running my hand over the fabric one last time and whispering to myself, almost there. That night, I actually slept, but the peace didn't last. I woke up around 6:45 a.m. to the smell of coffee and something off. You know that weird feeling when something just doesn't sit right? That gut feeling? I sat up and checked my phone. One missed call. From Ava at 2:41 a.m. No message, no voicemail. Weird. I got up, still groggy, and went to check on the dress. Just to be sure, I opened the closet and froze. The bag was gone. For a second I thought maybe Jason had moved it without telling me, but then I remembered. He wasn't home. I started tearing through the closet, back of the closet, under the coats. I even checked under the bed. Nothing. Then I turned around and saw it. On the floor, in the corner of the room, the bag, half unzipped, like someone had ripped it open in a rush. And inside, shreds. Literal shreds. My wedding dress was cut to pieces, torn down the middle, sleeves hacked off. The bottom? It looked like it had been dragged through mud. I dropped to my knees. I didn't even cry at first. I just sat there, blinking, like my brain couldn't process what I was seeing. Ava wasn't home. Her door was open, bed empty. I called Jason. He didn't believe me at first, thought I was joking, until I FaceTimed him and held up the pieces. His face went white. I was shaking, couldn't even form words. Jason said he'd call Ava. I didn't wait. I called her myself. She didn't pick up. But 5 minutes later, she texted me, "Next time, maybe don't treat people like they're nothing. Hope it was worth it." That was it. No apology, no regret. Just that. Jason came home within the hour. I was still sitting on the floor, surrounded by the pieces of my wedding dress. I couldn't even bring myself to touch them. It felt like if I moved, I'd snap. You know that kind of heartbreak? Where even breathing feels heavy? He walked in and just stood there, staring. He didn't say anything. And then the first words out of his mouth? "Are you sure it was Ava?" I looked up, stunned. Seriously? That was his reaction. I said, "She literally texted me. She admitted it." He took out his phone, read the message, and just rubbed his face like this was all some big inconvenience. She was upset. You've both been at each other's throats. I lost it. I stood up and said, "This isn't a fight, Jason. This is destruction. This was supposed to be the most important day of my life, and she ruined it on purpose. And you're defending her?" He didn't yell. He didn't cry. He didn't even look mad. He just said, "I don't want to pick sides." That broke me more than the dress did. He wasn't willing to stand up for me, for us, for what that day was supposed to mean. So I made the call. I told him the wedding was off, at least for now. He didn't try to stop me. He just quietly picked up his keys and said, "I'm going to talk to her," and walked out. I stood there, in silence. No wedding, no support. Just me and what was left of a dress that had meant everything. And in that moment, I realized I wasn't just marrying Jason. I was marrying the mess that came with him. I didn't sleep that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I'd see the dress again, torn, ruined, and Jason walking out like I was the one who'd made a mess. Around noon the next day, I heard the front door open. It was Ava. She walked in with her headphones on, holding a smoothie, like it was just another day, like she hadn't just blown up my life 12 hours earlier. She looked right at me and smiled. Not fake, not sheepish, smug. I stood up. "Ava, what the hell is wrong with you?" She shrugged. "You made it clear I wasn't welcome. Just figured I'd act the part." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. This wasn't some emotional outburst. She was proud of it. "You destroyed something I paid for, something that meant something to me, and your dad just let you walk away from it?" That got her. She paused, then said, "Dad didn't want to cancel the wedding. That was your choice. You always act like the victim." She said it like I was overreacting, like I was supposed to suck it up and let her wreck my dress and still smile for wedding photos. Then she said something I'll never forget. "You're not my mom. You never will be. So stop trying to act like this house is yours." That was it. I pointed at the door and said, "Get out." She laughed. "It's not even your house," she said, walking toward the stairs. Before she could make it, Jason walked in behind her. He looked exhausted. I looked him in the eye and said, "You need to choose right now." He didn't speak. Ava stared at him, smiling, and he just said, "Can we all just calm down?" I picked up my keys, walked past both of them, and left the house. I didn't know where I was going. I just knew I couldn't breathe in that space anymore. I stayed with my friend Natalie for a few days. She didn't ask questions, just let me crash on her couch, brought me tea, and told me I didn't owe anyone a damn thing. And honestly, she was right. Jason texted me, a lot at first. "I miss you. Let's talk." Ava didn't mean it like that. Every message felt more tone-deaf than the last. I finally agreed to meet up, just to talk. We met at a quiet cafe. I sat down and told him flat out, "I can forgive a lot, but not when someone destroys something I love, spits in my face about it, and you ask me to just calm down. That's not a marriage. That's me babysitting a grown man and his daughter." He looked ashamed. He said all the right words. "I messed up. I should have stood up for you. I just didn't want to lose either of you. But it was too late. Sometimes love isn't enough when respect is missing." I told him I wasn't ready to come back, that I needed space, Real space. We didn't cancel the wedding. We postponed it indefinitely. As for Ava, she never apologized. Not once. In fact, the last message she ever sent me was this: "Thanks for making my dad miserable. Hope it was worth it." That told me everything I needed to know. I moved out 2 weeks later. I took a job offer in another city. I started over. No dress, no ring, no stepdaughter drama. Just me. Do I still love Jason? Yeah. That's the part that sucks the most. But loving someone who refuses to protect you isn't strength. It's surrender. And I'm done surrendering. If you made it this far, let me ask you, was she right to walk away, or should she have given Jason another chance? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more real-life drama every day.